Hey everyone, welcome back to White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. I'm Wendy, and today is Mystery Box Challenge Day. Yay! I think this is the most special one of the year because Courtney goes out of her way to honor her mom who passed away and wants to do some kind of random act of kindness, which will be one of the twists in the challenge this month. So I'm sure you guys know how this works, but I'm going to explain it again. You could fast forward if you wanted to. Anyway, what we do is Courtney makes a list and we have a certain amount of people. I think this time we have 12. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to send a box to somebody else and then that person sends their box to somebody else and it goes all in a big, huge circle until we get back to the very beginning. And we'll all have the playlist linked in the description box below. So this month, I sent my box over to Natalie at Design to the Nines, and then I got my box from Kelly Barlow at Kelly Barlow Creates. Oh, there's my address. So this month, there's a whole bunch of different things that we have to do. There's twists and challenge items, and you know how it normally works. So Shannon over at the Daily DIYer and the Cozy Christmas Cottage made up these cheat sheets for us, which is really good for me since I only retain water these days. We have to put into our box 1 to 6 items that are considered sender's choice. We have to include 1 light bulb, some wrapping paper, and then for our challenge item, we're going to include an ornament of some sort. And the other challenge item is the box that our items came in. So the shipping box. And actually, I think this is the exact same Amazon box that I sent to Natalie. And then we have the twists. So the first twist is that we have to use a birthday candle in one of our projects, which I think is going to be super easy. And then the second twist is a random act of kindness. Now that's not really a twist, that's more of like a bonus. So we have to decide on some way giving back to our community or a friend or doing something nice. It's like a random act of kindness. And I'll share that part with you a little bit later. And then finally, we have the mystery box voting. So in case you haven't had enough voting lately, we're going to have a link in the description box below that will take you to the voting system. And there you can vote for your favorite projects, like who sent the hardest challenge item, or the best DIY using the twist, the DIY you would be most likely to recreate, all kinds of different things for you to vote on. And there's also a cheat sheet link down below so you can remember who made what and what you liked. Okay, good. But now, the most exciting part is that I get to open my box from my sweet friend Kelly. So let's get started. I really never liked the sounds of paper crumpling and stuff, so I'm going to try and be careful with that. I'll try to be quiet. So first we have my card. Oh man, I just realized I don't have my microphone on. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, so it says, one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. Oh, Ray's favorite quote. For those of you who don't know, Ray is her son who passed away in January. So this has been a hard time for her, but I think that's really sweet that she's remembering a quote that was his favorite. Anyway, it says, Wendy, hello, my sweet friend. There's so much I want to say because of the person you've been for me over this last year. Aww. Sometimes support comes from places or people that you don't expect it to come from. So I will say this to you, Wendy. You have been a beacon of light for me in times where taking my next breath felt impossible. Thank you for being who you are because you made a difference in my life and I value you. Oh, and I hope you have fun with this box. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Hugs to you, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. That is so sweet. All right. So let's see what we've got here. We've got some pretty tissue paper. Ooh, this looks fun. What is all this? Oh, it's already Christmas. Okay, challenge item. Oh, the box is obviously challenge number 1. So we already know that secret's blown. Oh, this is a little something for me. Oh, look, she did a little wrapping job and some baking twine and some cozy socks with little reindeer on them. Oh, sweet. I love, love, love socks, just in case you didn't know. Okay, and then she's got, oh, it's a journal. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I love this. I love this. Thank you so much. And then, you know, you could wrap a dog bone and I would be so excited because I love unwrapping presents. Because nowadays it's just kind of bags, you know. That wasn't the case when I was a kid. I think this is just the box, yeah. Oh no, it's the real deal. Oh my goodness. See, it says Simply Earth Essential Oil. It's her monthly essential oil. Yeah. So she gets one every month, and this month she sent it to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, it smells glorious in here. Thank you so much, Kelly. That was super, super sweet. Okay, now we're going in. Okay, here is challenge item number 1, which is the ornament. So we're gonna set that aside. Ooh, they're just looking like some fun stuff in here. Well, okay, you know I'm gonna grab this first thing. This is Dollar Tree, what? I did not see these. Ooh, that's so super cute. Yay, team. I don't even have to do anything to that. Oh, she sent the birthday candles too. That's perfect. The twist, work a candle into a DIY. I didn't think we were supposed to send something that was a candle. I mean, I didn't think we had to send the candle. It was just like use a candle in a project, but that's okay because this makes it way easier. So thank you, Kelly. I hope I'm right though. Okay, Sender's Choice. Man, she marked every single one of these so I don't have to guess what's what. But Sender's Choice, it's a little, you know, mini cutting board. Okay, here's some fabric. This is really pretty fabric. This really pretty red and green plaid fabric. It's all nice and very tidy in here. What is this? Ooh, a nice clear mug from the Dollar Tree. I love this. I don't have any of those. That's a perfect size for my soup. Okay, here's her light bulb that she sent me. So we'll see what we can do with that. Okay. I love everything she sent. I love everything you sent, Kelly. So I'll put this, okay, this is considered her wrapping paper, which it's a big, huge plastic bag. Oh, that'll be fun. And then this is a burlap banner. Oh, super pretty. What does it say? Oh, just married. Hey. Well, as of the date of this video, we just had our 34th anniversary. So maybe I'll just put that on the back of my car. And then, did I tell you guys that the items can be from anywhere? Okay, so I am so excited right now. Sorry for the sound of the package, but she got me the most beautiful nativity set. That is so pretty. And it's nice and big and chunky. Oh, I love it, Kelly. Thank you so much. This girl knows me. And then finally, a thankful, grateful, blessed book stack that you can do anything with. So, yay. Okay, is that everything? Oh, my challenge item. Okay. All right, so this is the ornament that Kelly sent. And let's see what it is. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I forgot that sometimes people like, you know, maybe Whitney and Courtney like to get a little saucy with their items. So they try to make things that are a little difficult, right? So I don't know, but this very well could get the most difficult challenge item. Well, this is her ornament, okay? What is it? Is it an aardvark or what are these guys called? I don't even know. He's so ugly. He's cute. It looks a lot lighter than it is. It's really Kelly Barlow. I thought you were my friend. I can't believe you did that to me. What? Are you kidding me? You guys, That's an aardvark. I gotta look up and see what this animal is. I'll get to the bottom of this shortly. All right, so we have a lot of work to do. I am super excited. I am already flowing with ideas and I can't see. So anyway, here we go with the last mystery box of the season. So let's get started. I can't believe she did that. For our first project, I'm going to be using the mini cutting board and the little book stack that Kelly got me. Now, I'm going to take out the back side of this book stack. I wasn't sure what was going to happen or if it was just going to collapse and fall apart, but it didn't. But I did have to take my heat gun to it to get that glue kind of loosened up a little bit. And then I just pulled that out because I want this to be a box. And then I didn't have another mini cutting board, so I had Michael J cut out another one using the first one as a template because I need two. I'm going to be making a little box, and oh my gosh, I can't wait for you guys to see how this turns out. It's so stinking cute. So I'm going to drill a hole in the handle of my cutting board, and then I'm going to measure to see how long to cut my dowel from the Dollar Tree down. I'm using my Gartle, or I think it's called Gartol, or I don't know, but these guys are linked in the description box below, so, and they can cut anything. But anyway, so just to give my box a little bit more support so that it doesn't come apart, and also so that I can use my brad nailer and there's some wood to actually grab into when I attach the two sides, I'm going to add a couple of Jenga blocks, well, 4 of them, 1 in each corner. I'll hot glue those on there, and then when I go in with my brad nailer, it'll go into those little Jenga blocks. And then I saw where I needed to put my second hole for the other side of my handle. So I'll just drill into that and then stick it onto the dowel, kind of mushy it down and use some muscles to get that put together, and then brad nail that onto the other side. So now I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in crimson, and I'm just going to paint the whole toolbox, everything except for the little dowel. I decided to make that a little bit different, and I did go ahead and actually paint the bottom so that you don't see. I don't usually paint the backs or the bottoms of things if you're not going to see them, but I figured that if my little grandbabies were going to be carrying this around, they would see that. So I do end up painting the bottom of it. Now I also thought about sanding it down so that it would be rustic looking, you know, but when you sand this red paint, it is really messy, so I decided not to do that. But on the handle, I'm just going to give it kind of a dry brush effect with the white and let some of that wood from the dowel itself peek out. So then I went to my Cricut cutting machine and I cut out the words Santa's toolbox, and I'm going to do that twice so that I can put one on each side of my little toolbox, and I'll have the names of the fonts linked in the description box below. And this is really one that you could redo or remake, and it was so easy. So I think this is super cute. So I'll just put some transfer tape on there and then pull off the backing sheet and attach it to both sides of my toolbox. So I found this sweet little tool set in the Dollar Tree Plus aisle, and this is a really cute little setup for Christmas if you want to get some Christmas presents at a really good price. But anyway, I'm just going to take the tools out, and I put a little unfinished sled in there, you know, like he's working on it. And then I took a ruler. I have 70-11D rulers, so I was okay with cutting it in half and sticking it into my box. I think this is so adorable. And then I took some Dollar Tree lights, and I'm just going to hang those off and all over my little toolbox, and I put the little battery pack on the back side there, and look how cute this guy is. And here it is all set up in my little Christmas tree wonderland here. I think this is so adorable, and it was so easy. I love how this turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. So now we're going to be using this glass mug from Kelly, and I decided to add a saucer from the Dollar Tree and this sweet little ornament also from Dollar Tree. I was going to use a fork, but you'll see I'm going to switch that up a little bit. And then I have some batting and some white felt and then some mini little trees. And these are all from Dollar Tree, everything here. So I got this brace or this little bracket. It's some kind of metal thing. Michael J found it out in the garage for me. I'm sure it has a purpose and a name, but I don't know what it is. It's just that it's got a little bit of flexibility to it, but it's still strong enough to hold our mug. So in other DIYs I've seen, when you do a floating teacup, you can use a fork. Well, the fork wasn't long enough for this mug because it's a little bit oversized, so that's why I had to use this piece. So I'm just going to measure where I need to bend my piece, and I'm just going to use my needle nose pliers to do that. Michael J got involved because he heard me tinkering around in the garage looking for stuff, so he wanted to make sure that it was going to fit, or not fit, he wanted to make sure it was heavy enough or solid enough, you know, that it was strong enough to hold the mug. And so it was. And then I'm going to cut that down with the 10 snips. I wanted to really get this done myself to see if you guys could actually do this on your own. He did have to help me because I needed 2 hands to get this chopped off. And then you can't tell here, but it was really cut, and he just snapped it in half. That didn't take any muscles on his part. It was already cut. You know, it's kind of like when he opens the jar, but you've already loosened it for him. So anyway, I'm going to get the right angle, and I'm putting the little flap on the top on the inside of the cup. You could also put it down below to give it a little bit more support, but once it's done, it's all staying snug as a bug in a rug. So to first get rid of that silver, I'm going to cover this in the white felt just to camouflage it because it's all going to be covered with that batting anyway. So once I get that done, I'm going to use gobs and gobs and gobs of glue to get this in to stay in place because there is quite a bit of weight on there. And then I ended up adding a Jenga piece just to give it some more security. And then I'm going to start covering it with my batting. Now, I didn't realize because, you know, I'm not an engineering genius or anything, I should have put my rocks, which you'll see in a second. I put rocks in here because the cup is kind of, you know, it's going to make it side heavy. So I needed to weigh it down. So I should have done that before I put my batting on. But anyway, I'm going to cover up that whole little metal piece and get it all the way up. And then I'll add my cup. You do want to add some permanent adhesive, something with a super strong hold to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere and it stays in place. So I'm going to do that same thing with my cup by adding a little Jenga piece just to give it some more, I don't know, stability, something to grab onto and hold it down. So here's where I'm adding my glass rocks. And I thought it was really pretty because it kind of looks like a babbling brook or something. I don't know. It's just really pretty. And then I'm going to add my trees and make it look like a little winter wonderland. And I love these trees from Dollar Tree. And I like the white ones. I like putting the white ones with the green ones together, you know, so you've got a little bit of an assortment there. So I'm just going to glue those down and get that all in place the way I want it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the top. And so since there's a whole bunch of glue up there, I was able to just take the little bases off of my bottle brush trees and then poke the wire into that dried glue. It wasn't all the way dry yet, so I still had a little wiggle room and was able to push that down. And then I'm just going to cover all of the fixins down at the bottom with some more batting. So it looks like a really pretty little snow scene and everything's all nice and covered. And then I'm going to take my little sled or sleigh and I'm going to put a different bow on it and make it a little cuter. And I just thought the red sleigh was so cute with that pop of color, and I was able to just kind of prop that up against the snowy, I don't know, ridge or the mountain or whatever it's coming down the side of the of the snowbank or something. Anyway, and then just to give it a little bit more snowiness, I took these little styrofoam balls with the glitter on it and just glued those here and there to give some more just snowy look. And I think it's so cute. And here it is all finished, and I think this turned out so sweet. You guys know I love miniatures and looking at little winter scenes and stuff, and I love that little pop of red in any kind of decor piece. But I loved how this turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. So now I'm going to be using this Just Married banner that Kelly sent, and it's got a whole bunch of jute twine along with it, so I'm going to use that as well. I wasn't really sure what to do with this at first, but the burlap itself, it's nice and stiff, so I thought I would use that to my advantage. I'm also going to be using this cone from, I don't even know where, somebody gifted it to me, and I'm just going to cut my banner pieces in half and start pleating those all the way around and just keep going with it. Now I turned it around so that the letters would be on the inside, and it kind of reminded me of like a flour sack stripe, or a, you know how there's like writing on flour sacks, and I thought it was super cute. And then I also was intentional with where I placed those little holes from the banner, because when I'm done with it, it kind of looks like those are meant to be the little ornaments. So I thought it was really pretty this way and looked really rustic but elegant at the same time. You'll see when it's done. So to pleat these, I'm just going to fold them, and that was the good thing about this being kind of stiff. And so when I folded it over, it would crease and I could see where those folds were. So I used the length of my fingernail, or not my fingernail, but like the top of my finger to the crease of my joint in my thumb, and then that was just my measurement of where to make that fold. And then I'll add some hot glue to the top and the bottom, and then just wherever it needed it. And then I'm going to go up my cone gradually. And then I was very intentional about where I put those little holes from the banner, you know, where you would feed in the twine, because I thought when it was done, it looked like that would be the perfect places, or where you would put your ornaments if this were a real tree. So I'm going to finish up that line, and then I'll move up to the next one, and then so on and so forth. Man, I wish I could really work this fast. This is fun watching it in such fast motion. But anyway, I'm going to do a total of 4 rows, and then when I get to the top, it's a little bit tougher because it's such a narrow, you know, it peaks, it goes at an angle, so you kind of just have to manipulate it, and you're kind of going diagonally so that they look straight. I don't know, does that make sense? Anyway, just use your hot glue to get it down to the places that you need it to be. And then once I got to the top, it was time for, I don't know, something else. I made this so long ago, I don't remember what happens next. Oh yeah, so then I'm going to take the tube from a mesh roll, and I'm going to use that jute twine and wrap that as far as it'll go. Now the top part where it's not got any jute twine, that's okay, because it's going to go up inside of my tree. So I took a scrap little Dollar Tree tree and the 3 legs, and then the little piece at the bottom, and then a scatter foam star. I'm going to take these all out and paint them with some Rust-Oleum camouflage spray paint, and this is in the color Camo Sand. And you can see I have my painting station all decorated for fall thanks to Mother Nature. So it was funny because the leaves were actually falling as I was painting. So anyway, I'm just going to paint that stand. I put it together as you saw, and then I'm going to paint the star. Now the star ended up looking like a starfish because it was too, I don't know, it just wasn't the right color. So I'm just going to get that a little glammed up and put some glue on there, and then cover it in some iridescent glitter just to give it some more prettiness and Christmas vibe, I guess. And then I would have probably left it white if I would have thought about it, but I didn't have another one, so oh well, you live and learn. Now then I'm going to take a pokey tool and make a hole at the top of my cone, and then stick my star right in the top there. I cut my little dowel down first, and then I'm going to stick my tree up inside of it, and there's enough fluffiness on there from the greenery that it will stay in place. And then I put my little tube on there, and then added it to the stand, and it's done. And here it is, all finished, and I think this turned out so pretty. I love how soft, and it goes perfectly in my new room, which I will show you at some point. And I think it's just a sweet way to add a little more Christmas into your home decor. I love it, and I hope you guys like it too. So now it's time to use this chunky nativity set that Kelly got me, and I was so excited, but I really wanted to do something different. Now, I just got done with a nativity set video. Well, I mean, I did a bunch of nativity scenes, and so I was kind of out of ideas. But then I found this suitcase that I got at Ross's Dress for Less. I don't know if everybody has those, but that's one that's here in California. And so I got this for $7.99 a lot of years ago. I've used it for different things, but mostly for, you know, like vignettes or something for your home decor. Anyway, I thought this would be super cute, and it's a little bit different, but one of my favorite projects now. So I'm going to paint all of my pieces with my white chalk paint, and I did it on the front and back. And then on my manger, I'm going to actually leave some of that raw wood poking through so that it's kind of differentiated and it looks like wood and it just makes it stand out since that's the manger. And so I'm going to add some more to that too. But anyway, once I get them painted all white, and you can't really see them, but I've used my pencil to make some designs for their faces and their costumes or what they're wearing and so forth. So I'm going to take some Hello Hobby paint, and I'm using the color French Linen, and I'm just going to paint some of the parts, mostly the faces and their hands, and then I do those first because then I'll go back and do a little bit more highlighting with my Sharpie and my mineral chalk paint. Now the mineral is just a little bit darker, so I wanted these to be pretty monotone and just really soft. So I'm just adding stuff where, I don't know, just where I think it should be. I added some straw to the little manger, and I think my camel and my little lamb are my cutest ones. And then for my 3 wise men, I just did different designs, and you guys can just watch. I think this is really fun. And then here's where I'm going to add a little bit more rusticness to my manger, and I'm adding some mineral, and then I'll go back with some antique wax and a few. But anyway, I just want to make this all so pretty, and I did everything kind of out of order because I go back and forth. So anyway, I'm going to take my black Sharpie and just put in some details into all of my pieces. And then for the 3 wise men, I'm going to add some gold details with a gold paint pen. And then for Mary's veil, I'm going to do that in crystal chalk paint, which is just a really super light blue. But when you put them all together, they're just so pretty. And the good thing about this is that you don't have to be a really good painter or be able to draw faces because we don't have any eyes. I did do, some beards and stuff, but I think this is just a super easy way to do this and use the colors that you want that's going to match in your own home decor. And the beautiful part of this is that because it's all going into the suitcase, every year I can close it up and stash it away and nothing gets messed up. So that's a win-win. So now to display this, inside of my box, I just put some random little boxes just to use as risers to give it different levels. And then I took some fairy lights. I'm going to pop those in there, and I'll have these linked in the description box below. And I'm going to cover this all with some burlap, some scraps that I already had. And some of this is from burlapfabric.com. I'm just going to tuck that all in there. And then on the ledge, I'm putting my manger. And then I decided because it was black, it needed to have some stars in the sky. Now the Star of Bethlehem is already on the manger, so I didn't add that, but I'm going to have my pieces sitting on top of this lip, which is just perfect. I hope you guys can find something like this because I think when you see it at the end, it's so pretty and worth it, I think. So I'm just going to take some little rhinestones from the Dollar Tree ribbon, the little blingy stuff. I just cut those apart one by one and took some hot glue and attached it to the back part of my suitcase in the lid. And I didn't glue any of the pieces down because I want to be able to close this up, like I said, and store it away after the season is over. So I'm just going to make a really pretty starry night. And then I decided to add some Oh Holy Night to this manger. Now you can see this Sharpie is double-sided, so it's got the dual tips. I'm going to take the super skinny part and just write Oh Holy Night, and then use my faux calligraphy where you just kind of make the downstrokes of your letters a little bit thicker than the rest of it. But I thought this added so much, and now that I have my stars, it's a holy night. Well, I mean, it's a holy night because the Lord Jesus was born, but I mean, now that we have our stars, you can tell that it's night. So then I decided to add a little alleluia to our angel. So I'm taking some of this white faux leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And again, using my gold paint pen, I'm just going to write alleluia. And then when I put it on her, I kind of poofed it up in the middle. And then I dovetailed the edges. No, I dovetailed the ends. And then I'm going to put that so that it kind of overflows. And then I'll glue it down so that it looks like a little flowing banner that she's holding. And here's how this turned out. And I think this is so, so pretty, you guys. And, you know, I love me a nativity set, and you should always have them out during the Christmas season because that is what it's all about. But I wanted to make a little spin or put a little spin on a nativity set. So I thought this was the perfect way to do it. Just something a little bit different. You see, I added some hay at the bottom and a couple of ornaments just to give it some cuteness. But I love, love, love how this turned out. And I hope you guys like it too. So now I'm going to be using this bag that Kelly sent, and I was a little stumped on what to do with this, but when I opened it up and I checked it out, I like the big, bold statement, or, you know, the print on this, but one thing I noticed is that it was a little bit see-through and translucent, so I thought I would use that to my advantage. So I'm going to take a couple of these Dollar Tree vases that you see me use all the time, and I'm just going to cut a strip of this and then wrap it around two of these vases, and I was pleasantly surprised at how these turned out. So anyway, I'm just going to take some double-sided tape from the Dollar Tree and lay that onto my vase and onto the plastic, and then wrap it around. And I tried to cut it as close to the top and the bottom, or get the right size that I could, but then I'm going to have to go back and trim it a little bit, and I'm going to use my craft knife to do that. And then as I'm wrapping it, I'm going to make sure that it's pretty tight so that you don't see many of those wrinkles from the plastic, and then cut it down in the back and then attach it so that it's nice and snug as a bug in a rug. So now I'm going to take two of these really pretty Dollar Tree candle holders in white so I don't have to paint anything. And I'm going to use my permanent adhesive and my hot glue to attach my candle holders to the bottom of my little lanterns. Now you could totally leave these as is, but I thought I would add a little bit of holly and berries to the bottom of the bases just to give it some more sweetness. And I just took one leaf from the holly and then a little piece of a little cluster of those berries, and I'm going to glue those onto each corner of my little lanterns. Now, I wanted to add a sweet little bow to this, so I decided to use the string that came with the bag, and I'm just going to cut that in half and tie the smallest little, most microscopic sweet bow that you've ever seen, because I almost couldn't even get it in there, but I'm going to glue that right to the side of my holly, and then these are done. So I had a couple of ideas for this garland, but I just thought it was so cute the way it was. I am going to take off the little Santa and the baking twine, but I'm going to replace it with a Happy Holidays ornament from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to remove the black and white gingham bow and replace it with some that is coordinating with these colors. But I was going to take off the Happy Holidays and put Happy Holly Days and have a berry Christmas so that it would go with my two lanterns. But I ended up not doing it just because it looked so sweet the way it was. And so I'm just going to replace Santa with this little tag, and then it's really just done. And I wanted to do this one with my lanterns because they look so pretty together. So here they are, all done, and I love how these turned out. I put a little one of those battery operated candles, the tea lights from the Dollar Tree, into each one of those, so at night they're super pretty too. I love how this turned out. Super simple, and I hope you guys like it too. So now it's time to use our light bulb, and Kelly sent me this really sweet little fan light bulb. It's a little smaller than the regular ones. I'm going to use our bathroom light that was in my mom and Kennedy's bathroom. This is going to be perfect for this project because it's glass at the bottom and it's just the right size. So I'm going to take an assortment of just different white and super pretty gold ribbons. And I picked up this sequins piece of fabric from the Dollar Tree a few months ago, knowing exactly what I was going to use it for. So I'm going to pull some pink in there too to match the bathroom. And then I have a package of these little lace doilies from the Dollar Tree. There's two there, so I'll use both of those. And then I have this gold wire. Now I think this is from Dollar Tree, and I must have used it for something else because I rolled it back up when I stored it away. So I'm going to use that too. So I'm just going to make a little hole in the middle of my doily and put that right over my lamp. And then I took the light bulb out to put the second doily on. Again, made a little hole there. And I'm just going to push that down enough so that it goes over the socket. And then we've got two tiers of our little doilies. Now it's pretty cute just the way it is. And you could just stop there and finish the project. But we're going to keep going. So I'm going to take my wire and attach that to the socket, everything again on the outside, and then I'll put my light bulb back in. But the way it was wrapped, I just decided to leave it because it looked really cute. That's going to be a halo for what is going to be our little lit angel. So then I took my assortment of ribbons, and I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use. I just grabbed a bunch of them. So I'm going to start cutting those down to about, I'm just eyeballing it, but I'm using the length of the lamp itself. And I'll just cut a bunch of strips of whichever ribbons I decide is going to work for this. So I'm using this fatter gold color from Dollar Tree. And then I have some, I found this real pretty white burlap at the Dollar Tree, which is kind of wide, and I never see this. And so I grabbed a few of those, and then I'm going to take some of this pink that was also from Dollar Tree that I thought was so pretty, and it kind of coordinates with my sequins fabric. So I'm going to lay her down and start attaching my ribbons to the base. And again, being very careful not to touch the light bulb or anything, we don't want anything going inside of the socket. So I'm just going to kind of pleat the larger ones, putting the larger or the thicker ribbon down at the bottom first. And I'll just kind of spread those out. I think I used 3 or 4 of the gold ones. And then the smaller ribbon, I'll go right on top and in between and just all over this entire lamp on the front and the back, and just kind of spread them out evenly or not evenly. There's no rhyme or reason. Just get it all completely filled with a bunch of really pretty ribbon. So now to make her wings, I'm going to use the box that Kelly sent, and I'm using it in a DIY. And I did ask Courtney if it was okay if I used parts of the box instead of just the box altogether. And she said that was okay. So I drew out some wings, but I didn't realize until after I pulled out the fabric that I have to have smaller wings because I only have the one piece of fabric. So I'll make that fit and draw some wings, and then I use the first one that I cut out as a template for the second one. And then because I don't want any of that cardboard showing through, I'm going to take my white chalk paint and paint the edges and one side of my wings, which will be the back side, so that no matter where you're looking at it from, it's going to be covered. Just the sequence will be on the front of my wings. So after my wings are dry, I'm going to cut my fabric in half, and I'll lay it down on the fabric and kind of trace out where that wing needs to go so that I get it right on the right spot. And then I'll hot glue that down onto my cardboard and then cut around the perimeter of my wings. So now I'm going to take some hot glue and attach my wings together, and then once I get them to the angle that I want, I'm going to take a pokey tool and make a hole through there, and then I'll stick a chenille stem in between there. Now, you have to kind of get a really good grip because that sequence is in the way, so I used a pair of pliers to pull it through. And then I'm just going to twist it on the front and then make the two pieces go in between the little holes of my lace doilies and then onto the lamp itself, and then I'll twist it again so that it stays in place. So now she has her little wings. I think this is turning out so pretty. I love this so much. So I want to take all of those wired edged ribbons and kind of make little curly cues on them, and on the gold ones I kind of ruffled it up so that it was nice and kind of just looks like it's flowing. And then I took some lace and I'm going to hot glue that around her neck. It was pretty clean as far as where I had glued them all down, but just to give it a finishing touch, I thought that was really pretty. And here it is all finished, and I think she's so pretty. I love this so much. And of course, I got these little lamps like, I don't know, 4 years ago at the Goodwill. They were $2.50 each, and they came in a box of 2. So I picked up a few of these. I use these all the time. I think I have like 6. I've given some away and stuff. But anyway, I love how this turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. So now it's time to use a birthday candle in a DIY, and so we're going to do that now. I'm going to take some of this really pretty gift tissue from the Dollar Tree. It's so, so pretty. It's got poinsettias and different Christmas flowers or plants. You know, I don't know my plants. And then I also have this little cake plate that I got a long time ago, but I love it because it's red and I can use it at Valentine's Day and at Christmas. And then I have this larger vase from the Dollar Tree Plus aisle. This was $5, and I had planned to do something else, but we're going to use it upside down. And then I'm also going to be using some of this adhesive glass frosting. I used this on my laundry room door, so I'm going to use that in this project. You could also use the spray kind if you want. So I'm going to take my tissue paper and I'm going to trace out the bottom of my vase and cut that about 1/4 of an inch past the line that I drew. And then I'm going to make little teeny snips along the whole, what is that, the circumference? I think it's the circumference, yeah, of the circle, so that when I lay it on the bottom of my vase, it'll go right along that edge and I can just glue it down. I'm just using a glue stick from the Dollar Tree. Well, everything's from the Dollar Tree, but I'm just gonna glue that down, and then the little sides will go over nicely, because I'm gonna take another piece and I'm gonna wrap the side of the vase itself, and I'm only gonna go up halfway on the side piece. So I just cut out a square and then, or a rectangle, and then I'll attach that to the sides. But this way it'll give it a nice finished and clean edge, because ultimately this is going to be the top. So we're covering the bottom of the vase, but it's going to be the top of our project. And the reason why I knew it was going to be super easy to use a birthday cake or incorporate one into a project is because Christmas is Jesus's birthday. So we're making him a beautiful two-tiered birthday cake. So once I get that completely covered, I'm going to do that at the top, and then halfway down I'll go in with my frosted vinyl and just cover the whole bottom part of my cake, or the bottom layer I should say. And then I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree tubing and I'm going to use this as the icing. So I'll glue that right over where those two come together, and that'll be the middle of our two tiers. So then I started to use these wood beads from the Dollar Tree, and I put 6 of them just around the top of the cake. I'm going to end up changing these out because they didn't stay as well as I wanted them to. This is what I was going to put the candles into to hold them in place, but I changed that out. You'll see that in a second. So then I'll add my top layer icing with that same tubing and just go right around the corner or the edge of the top of my cake. So then I made another decal on my Cricut Explore Air 2. I'm still behind, I'm on the 2. And I'll have those fonts again linked in the description box below. But I'm just going to put that on the top layer of my cake. And I get a lot of questions about whether or not you can do this on paper, and you definitely can. And this is tissue paper, so it's super, super thin. And as long as you are patient and just kind of pull it off nicely or, gently, it won't rip the paper. So it works really well on paper and fabric too. But anyway, so now that I've got that on there, I'm going to take this Dollar Tree candle, and I pulled out the insides, and I'm just going to fill that with some red tulle or what is this, mesh? I'm going to fill it with some mesh, and I just rolled that up just so that it wouldn't be that funny green color. And now normally I wouldn't put the multicolored lights on here, but hey, it's a celebration, so I was okay with the multicolored lights. And I know my grandkids really love the multicolored, so we're going to go ahead and take it for the team and Team Jesus and put in this really celebratory candle, and that's going to be in the middle. So I'm going to put him right in the middle of my cake, but I'm not going to glue him down because it's got to be able to be turned on and off. So I took all of my red candles, and it's got little stands, that you would stick it into the cake with those little pokey things. So that's what I put into the bead with my hot glue. And you can see right there, it's kind of wobbly and not really secure. So that's why I end up changing this, but I'll show you what I did in a second. So then I took some greenery just to give this some embellishment for the top of the cake. And I'm making sure that I'm gluing it down around my psychedelic candle so that I can pop that up and down and turn it off and on. And then I'm just going to add a sweet little cluster of these red berries from the Dollar Tree, and I'll just glue those right in the middle. I think I could really decorate some cakes. I just don't like the baking part of it. Maybe I'll have Michael J do that, and then I'll just decorate it. So here's where I changed my mind on the beads, and I'm going to use more of those berries because they're nice and dense, and the styrofoam, you can just poke those pokies right into the little berries, and then that way they were a lot more secure and didn't bounce around. And I did cut a little piece off the bottom to make it flat so it would go onto the top of my cake. So now I'm going to take this 3D nativity set from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be using Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. And I'm going to take a little medallion from the Dollar Tree that I had in my stash. And I'm going to first cut off the little tabbies at the bottom of each of those. And then I'll use some hot glue and glue those right around the outside edge of that medallion. I didn't need to paint over this or paint the pieces or anything. We're just going to use these as a shadow. So I'm going to take my cake plate and set my cake on top so that I can do that bottom layer of icing and get that all finished off. And then I'll place my little medallion on the cake plate and then add a pop light from the Dollar Tree and put my cake right over it. So now with the light behind it, you can see the silhouette of the nativity. And here it is all finished, and I just love how this turned out. I think it's so pretty, and I love the reds, of course. And you can light the candles to actually celebrate Jesus's birthday. You know, my sister-in-law does a birthday cake, an actual one that you eat. She bakes a cake for Jesus every year, and we have a party, or, well, not us all the time, but they have a party. They light the candles and celebrate his birthday. And I just think that's such a sweet idea. But you have to see this at night, too. You can still see the silhouette during the day, but look how glorious it is at night. I love this so much, and I hope you guys like it, too. Okay, so I put this off long enough, but I had a little catastrophe happen with Mr. Armadillo Man and his ear fell off, but that's okay because I wasn't gonna need it anyway. So I'm gonna take this glittery box. This is the top off of a Dollar Tree box, and I'm gonna just kind of reassemble it. I'll take the little ribbon off and just kind of cut it down. I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. You guys are not even going to believe what this turns into, but I think this might be my favorite. Maybe it could be. It's one of the top 2 or 3. Well, anyway, I'm just going to cut this down and fold it up and make it into a little teeny tiny fireplace. And so I'm just using my scissors and some hot glue, and I don't know, I don't even know how to do this. I mean, I just kind of did it, and we'll see what happens here. I can't really give you any instructions, but I'm just trying to figure out. Oh my gosh, this project. It was killing me, but I love how it turned out. So anyway, I just made a little opening in the front, and then I wanted to be able to see through, but I wanted it to, look like a fireplace. So I used some of the scraps to cover up the back and make a little box. Do you guys want to make this? Let's recreate this. Oh my goodness. So you can see I'm just whittling away. I'm going to super speed this up so that we can well, it's already pretty fast, but I'm losing my mind, you guys. It's very late right now, but this is, yeah, I don't know. I just folded stuff up and then attached it and made a fireplace. Should I skip through this? So now that I've got my fireplace made, I'm going to take this little piece of stick from a sign of some sort. This is going to be the little hearth, and I'm just going to cut that down. I'll take this. Oh, I'm going to have to use my miter box. And then Michael J. found this piece of trim outside from something or other. I don't know, but we're going to use that as the mantle. So I'm just going to mark where to cut that down, and then he's going to take it outside and do it for me. He wanted me to show you the tag in case you wanted to make this. I don't think you will, but just in case, there you go. There's the tag. So I'm going to cut it with my miter saw, and you do want to put this on a surface, a flat surface, and not on a cutting mat, because you see my cutting mat moves around. So, I should have just done it on my work surface. So now I'm going to take this big round piece from, I think it's either from Walmart or from Michael's. It's plaid. I don't know who has that brand, but again, somebody gave me a whole bunch of supplies, and so I've just been slowly using them here and there. And then I have these Dollar Tree little wooden pots. They come in the little package, different sizes. And so I'm going to go ahead and stain using my antique wax. I'm going to do the big round piece, and then my mantle and my hearth, and 2 of my flower pots. And I'll just get these all nice and stained. I'll just paint it on there and then wipe it all off. And then once I'm done with all of that, I'm going to take my white chalk paint and a chippy brush and just give it a dry brush effect over the top, just to kind of make it look like a wood floor. So then I took some baking twine, and I'm going to feed on some teeny tiny little beads in red, green, and white. These are from Dollar Tree also, and this is so cute, you guys. I am just dying. We're making a mini beaded garland. So I'm going to take my mantle and glue it to the top of my fireplace. And then I put it upside down, you know, so the top part is flat, which is the back of that molding. And then my little hearth is just going to go on the front. Because when I first bent my glittery cardboard, the lid, it kind of cracked it or, you know, ripped the glitter apart. So I wanted to cover that up. And then I took some little twigs from outside and I'm just going to make little logs and I'll glue those inside of my fireplace. So now I'm going to take the tips of some greenery from Dollar Tree and just cut those down and make two little sweet Christmas topiaries for each side of the fireplace. And then I used another Dollar Tree Christmas tree, and I'm going to take a little teeny tiny wooden star and I'm going to stain that with my antique wax and then put that right on top of my Christmas tree. And then I have a little collection of pop embellishments that when I used to scrapbook, I just have kept things. And I found the cutest little sets. And you guys are not going to believe how old these are. This is from a Secret Santa gift exchange that my friend Kim Laurent, oh my goodness, I can't even believe that I remembered, but I was so excited about this gift that she got me. It was a whole bag of different scrapbooking things. So coincidentally enough, there were these teeny tiny little ornaments on there and some gift bags, a little Santa suit. And so I thought this was going to be perfect to add to this display. So I was going to use just little teeny styrofoam balls as the ornaments for the tree. But because these were already here and even had adhesive on the back, I just decided to pop those onto the tree. So I'm going to use this little heart piece from the Dollar Tree. I guess it's like a little trinket holder or I don't know, a candle holder, I guess. And so I'm going to put that on the bottom of my plaque and that's going to raise it up a little bit so that we can give it a little bit of height. And I'll just use some permanent adhesive as well as some hot glue and that'll be our little floor. So now I'm going to get my beaded garland. I'm going to attach that to the fireplace. And I just used the 2 end beads to glue onto the top of the mantle. Everything was so small, it was kind of hard to assemble things. And then I'll just cut off that extra baking twine. And then every mantle needs some greenery at Christmas. So I'm going to take some more of this greenery and hot glue that to the top of the mantle. And I just had one going one way and the other one going the other way, just like you would decorate your own mantle at home. And then I took a sweet little Dollar Tree chalkboard tag and I'm having the little clothespin go upside down. And so I'm going to take a white paint pen and write Christ the Savior is born and give it a few little curly cues at the bottom because this is the centerpiece over their mantle. And then I'll just hot glue that to the top and I'm using that clothespin to do that. It kind of looks like a little TV. Anyway, then I'm going to take that whole piece and glue that to the top of our plaque. And this room is starting to come together. And then I'll put our little topiaries on each side of the fireplace and then I'll add our Christmas tree. So do you remember at the beginning of this video when I said I don't like using gift bags for presents? Well, in this case, it was totally okay because these were so adorable. Again, for the scrapbooking pages, it turned out that this worked out just perfectly. So I used those and put those under the tree or by the tree. And then I took my little Santa suit. Now I was gonna make a little Santa hat. So when I found this and you see the size, this was so perfect. It was just meant to be and saved me a lot of time. And for the gifts, I was going to use the little, the cube wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. I was going to either paint them or actually try to wrap them so that it would look like little presents. Now here I'm getting his little head ready because we need to put the Santa hat on and his other ear was in the way. So I had to cut it off and I felt really bad about that. So anyway, I'm going to hot glue that hat onto Mr. Armadillo here. We need to give him a name. I can't think of a name, but anyway, look how cute he is. I am just laughing through this entire project, and I was laughing as I was doing it too. Now, the problem with him is that he has that tail, so he wasn't able to sit on anything with any of the other ideas that I had. So his tail had to hang off of the edge. So this is how I dealt with that. And then I did find this one little teeny tiny present that was already wrapped. I don't know what it was from, but probably one of those little trees, the mini trees. And so I'm going to glue that right under him. And I also glue him down. He just had one foot that was going to connect with my plaque. So he's still snug as a bug in a rug, but look how cute. I love this so much, but I wasn't done. I went online and I was trying to find sayings for armadillos. The only thing that I could find was armadillo by morning. So I took my paint pen and I wrote armadillo by morning. And this is Christmas morning. Oh, my Lanta, I can't even. My tummy hurts and my cheeks hurt from laughing so much. But I think this is the cutest DIY. Oh, my goodness. I love it. I mean, it's funny because it's so little, but I am very proud of myself because this is one of my all-time. I'm crying right now. He's so cute. And Kelly, what do you think? Do you love it? I love it, and I hope you guys like it too. Armadillo by morning. Oh, dear. So this year for our random act of kindness, my daughter and I hosted an Advent wreath crafting breakfast for some of Cadence and Carson's friends from school. We started with prayer, and then we had an amazing breakfast feast that my daughter Christine made, and this is at her house. And then after that, I did a short lesson about the Advent wreath and the symbolism of it. And then using Dollar Tree supplies that I had ready for them, they each made their very own Advent wreath, and they got to decorate the battery-operated candles with some purple and pink glittery ribbon. And then I had one of the helper mommies man the hot glue gun station, and that was so that they could attach the candle holders to the chargers. And then I got some ready-made wreaths from the Dollar Tree in the Dollar Tree Plus section. And then we added the white Christ candle in the middle. And then they got to choose which bow they wanted to use. Those were already made too, also from Dollar Tree. And then they just attached it to the wreath with some wire. And it was done. And I also had printed out some coloring pages for Kindle and any of the littles that were just too young to craft. But it was a super fun time. We got to fill our tummies and our spirit and learn about the amazing love of our God. So this is our very last project, and I'm going to be using the fabric that Kelly sent. And this was a really special project, but remember when I say that you have to just keep powering through even if something doesn't go right? That's what happened here. And everything would have been beautiful. I'm going to actually use some Everyday Iron-On by Cricut. I'm going to put it on my pad and cut this out. I did a design on Design Space. Now this is supposed to be a very special project, but it kind of went awry, but it's okay because it came out even better, I think. So the cutout that I did was the one that Kelly said was Ray's favorite saying, "One day you will leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember." So I cut that out. Again, I'll have the fonts linked in the description box below. And then I don't know if you guys know the story. You really have to watch her videos about her journey and everything that she went through with her son, Ray. And one thing is that he had a tattoo, and it was of a stopwatch that says, or it had the clock on the hands, the time was set to 7:18. And the significance of that is that her birthday is July 18th. And so that was his special way of honoring his mom. Well, at the end, and this is such a sweet sign from Jesus to let her know that he is in his arms, is he passed away at exactly 7:18. So that's a very special time, and this was such a special project for me. So I went to iron this on to my plaid fabric, but because it's kind of like a wool or some kind of something, it didn't work out and I burned it. And so somehow I used the little guideline and everything. I think it's just the fabric. It was different. So I had to pivot. So I ended up taking the whole thing, including the plastic that was on it. And I'm making a stopwatch, and this looks like it's the glass of the stopwatch, and I just glued it onto a pizza pan. It's even raised now, and so I just love it. I think that was meant to be. So I'm going to take this plastic tray from the Dollar Tree. I'm first going to sand it down so that when I put paint on it, it'll stick to it. And so I'm going to take my white and just go around it and get it nice and distressed. I want this to look like an old vintage stopwatch, or not stopwatch, a pocket watch. That's what he had on his arm, you know, the tattoo. So after I got the white down, I'm going to take some antique wax and just kind of pounce away and get that nice and aged looking, and then kind of blend it in with the white because the white is still wet. And then once that dries up a little bit, I'll do some darker pouncing and get that all nice and old looking. So then I took a lid from an Essentials oil bottle, not the ones that Kelly gave me, but it was one that I already had. I almost used one of those, but this one was one from one that I already had. And so I'm going to paint that and kind of give it that same type of finish as our clock. And then I'll also do that to a dowel, just a little piece that I had. And then I'm also going to do that with a shower curtain ring and give it that same finish so that it all kind of matches. Now this shower curtain ring I had used for something else, so it was already gold, and so that was fine. I just reused it and gave it that distressed look. And then for the chain, I found this little piece that came off of a Dollar Tree sign, and it's green, so I was okay with the green because the green is also in the plaid. So I just gave that a little bit of a pouncing as well. And then I'm going to cut off the inside part of my shower ring, and then that way my dowel will go right through it. And then I filled my lid with some hot glue so that the dowel will stand up straight inside there. And you have to wait for that to dry quite a while because there's so much glue in there. And then I'm going to take my chain and attach it to my shower ring. And then I'm taking a whole bunch of permanent glue and some hot glue, and I'll use a charger from the Dollar Tree. I need to lift this piece up, so I'm going to put that down first, and that's going to go right inside of my tray. And then I'll take a little hoop just to get it raised again. I want some more area or surface area so that my pizza pan will have more surface to attach to my platter. Now there were some side pieces where the plastic didn't all the way go to the end of the fabric, but I'll be covering that up with some pretty greenery and you won't even see that. So then there's a little teeny gap in between the pizza pan and then the platter. So I'm going to just cover that up using some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree and just glue that down and run that all the way around the face of the clock. And then I'm going to add my greenery little pieces. I did some at the top and then the bottom and then on both sides. And I'm just using a nylon zip tie to pull those two sprigs together and then just piece together some other parts just to cover up where I was missing some of that plastic. And then I got these berries from Walmart a while back, and so I thought this was perfect to add to this, and I can just kind of pull it around and round it out so that it conforms to the shape of my platter. And then I made a sweet little bow with this ribbon that was actually the very last roll that my mom had. My mom used to always wrap gifts, every gift. She never used bags, and she kind of would give you a funny look if you ever gave her a gift in a gift bag. So anyway, a special little piece of ribbon here that is going to go on this stopwatch. And then I'm going to cut my little dowel down and attach that to the inside piece of my shower ring. So this looks like the little top part of a stopwatch. I think it's so cute. It looks like a stopwatch to me. And then I'm just going to make a hole at the top of my platter and then poke that in there and then add gobs and gobs of hot glue again. And then it's done. And here it is all finished, and I think this turned out so sweet, even with all the mistakes and the mess ups. And you can see how the white iron-on letters are a little bit brown now because I went too long on the heat press. But I just love this so much, and I hope you like it too, and I hope, Kelly, you like it too. I hope you guys enjoyed these projects, and if you did, don't forget to give them a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. If you're not already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button down below as well as the little bell right next to it so that you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. Don't forget to check out the whole playlist for the Mystery Box Challenge. Remember the reason for the season. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and remember to always be the light. Bye!